boys and girls, and welcome to lesson 2 of our online art club this term. Today we're doing a fun activity called landscape laundry. So today we're creating famous landscape paintings out of our clean laundry. So that might be t-shirts or sheets or towels. There's a whole range of things we can use for our activity today. And so today we're recreating Starry Night by Vincent van Gogh. You might remember we looked at Sunflowers by Vincent van Gogh in our artwork last week. So we're looking at something different this week, which is this painting. So you can see this painting uses lots of blue and black and yellow and white. So you're going to need to find some laundry at home that uses these colours to create our paintings or recreate our own laundry landscape painting today. So let me show you a few of the things that I have at home that I could use in my painting. So I could use a yellow t-shirt, I could use some yellow socks, some white socks, I could use a blue jumper, so you could use a blue jumper as well. What else do I have here? You could use a blue towel or tea towel. You could use some white t-shirts. You could even use a black pillowcase or a black sheet that looks like this. If you don't have any of those, you could use a black t-shirt or a pair of black pants. And you could use a blue jacket like this one. Anything you have at home that uses those colours. So make sure you ask Mum or Dad if you can use those bits of clean laundry in your artwork before you get started. And it's really important as well, if you pull anything out from drawers or the washing basket, that you fold it and neatly put it away when you're finished. I'm going to show you a quick picture now of all the different materials I used to recreate Vincent van Gogh's Starry Night using my laundry. And you can have a go at trying to collect some of these items yourself, and then we'll work on recreating that painting together. Okay, boys and girls, this is a picture of my finished laundry landscape of the Starry Night by Van Gogh. I've used a lot of different things in this artwork. You might have similar things at home, but it's okay if you don't. So I'm going to talk through what I've used and some of the things that you could use at home and some alternatives. So some different things if you don't have these things at home. Okay, so to create this building here, I just used some black t-shirts and pillowcases. You could use a black sheet, or you could even use black paper or cardboard if you don't have any black clothes at home. For the background of my picture, I used some blue towels and some blue t-shirts. Again, see if you can find lots of different shades of blue, because we can see Van Gogh uses lots of different shades of blue, from dark blue to light blue in his painting. So see if you can find some different shades of blue. Again, it doesn't have to be clothes, it can be tea towels or towels, it could be sheets or a tablecloth, whatever you have at home that works. For this swirly bit here, I used a pillowcase and some white t-shirts, so you could use that. If you've got a clean school shirt, that would actually be a really good item to use for that section. For the top of the mountain here, I used a grey sheet, so if you run out of white clothes, you can use similar colours. So I used a big long white sheet. Again, if you don't have a sheet, you could use tea towels, whatever you have. Okay, and then for the stars, I mostly used rolled up socks because they're a good round shape to use for stars. A yellow t-shirt. And I did run out of white things, so I actually used some scrunched up white paper to create the different star shapes. So you can use that as well if you like. If you run out of all your textiles, so your fabrics, textile is another word for fabric, you can use paper or cardboard to add these things in. And then for the buildings down the bottom, I just used some tea towels, and some old placemats. So again, it's up to you what you use. The main thing to keep in mind is being able to create the shape. So you need to be able to twist and scrunch and pull that fabric to get it into the right shape, and try to get the right colors. So make sure you've got some blue, some white, some yellow, and then some brown for the town that sits below the Starry Night. Okay, so you can take some time now to go and collect some of those items. You can maybe freeze this picture so you can see if you can find some of the same items that I've used. And just keep in mind to ask mum or dad if you can use these items for your artwork before you start, and make sure you fold them and then put them back neatly when you're done. Okay, so you can pause the video, grab those items, and then I'm going to talk you through how to create this artwork. See you soon. So the first thing you want to do is to create the background of your painting. So you can see in the Starry Night, Vincent van Gogh has used lots of blue colors to create that background. So I've started off by just laying down a blue towel. You could use a sheet, you could use any range of blue clothes that you have, and you can see he's used lots of different shades of blue. That means you can layer on your blue clothes. So if you have more than one shade of blue, you can see up in the top left-hand corner of the painting, the blue is a bit darker and then it gets lighter across this way. So I'm going to layer some of my blue clothes along the back to create that effect of having different shades of blue. So I'm going to put some darker clothes up the top. Like this. And you can see Vincent van Gogh loves to use lots of little paint strokes. So if you have lots of layered clothes on here, that'll help to produce the same effect of having lots of little paint strokes rather than just having one big blue towel like I laid down to begin with. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with this as my beginning. You can see I've started off with a darker blue over here, so really focusing on the color, and then moving over to my lighter blues over here. So you might like to do the same thing if you've got lots of different shades of blue. If you don't, that's okay. You can just do the best you can with what you have. And you can see that I've just started here to create the outline of the mountains. You can see in the picture up here, Van Gogh's added some beautiful mountains to the bottom of his artwork. So you can try and add in that if you like. So this is our blue background. The next thing we want to add in are these beautiful swirls, because you can see that Van Gogh has put them in behind that building that sits over on the left-hand side, which is one of the last things we're going to add. So the next thing I'm going to grab is my white laundry, so sheets, pillowcases, white t-shirts, and I'm going to have a go at creating these beautiful swirly star clouds and to create the white mountains over the back. So to do this, I'm going to start off with, I might start off with my white pillowcase. And you can see for the background I've laid things across because there's a bit of a flat colour happening. Here I'm going to have a go at twisting some of my textiles, some of my fabric, to create the right kind of shape. So you can see it kind of curves around like this. There we go. I'm going to add in my white t-shirt for even more of a curve. There we go, just laying it over the top of the first things that I put down. There we go, so you can twist it, you can pull it, you can do whatever you need to get the right shape. There we go, so there's my curve. Okay, let's look at creating another part. So I'm working on creating that white mountain that we can see above the blue mountains. And again, this is quite a wide fabric, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to twist it. So round and round like this to make it a little bit thinner. That way I can bend it the way that I like when I put it down. Okay, the next part of the artwork that I'm going to add in, and you can do the same with me, is this big, tall, black building that's going to go on the left-hand side here. So for this one, you'll need something black, a black sheet, a black t-shirt, a black pillowcase, whatever you have at home. Okay, I'm going to start off grabbing my black t-shirt, and you can see this is quite tall and quite thin, and it goes right from the bottom of the artwork all the way up to the top. So you want to try and make yours the same shape and the same size. Okay, let's have a go. So again, you can twist little parts of your fabric to get that pointy section, and then you can spread other parts out as you get down the bottom of the building where it starts getting a bit thicker. And you can use more than one piece of fabric to do this. And again, it's going to go over your backdrop and over those mountains, because we can see it's at a place called the foreground of our painting. It's at the front of our painting, so it needs to be in front of all the other things. Okay, now the lighting in my kitchen isn't great, but so long as you're using a black building here, you add a black fabric, it should be showing up against your backdrop. Mine's, it's a little bit dark to see. The next thing that we're going to try and add in are these beautiful yellow and white stars we can see across the top of the sky. So we're going to add them in across the top of the sky here, and I think I'm going to start with that big yellow one over in the top right hand corner. So for some of these, I don't have a lot of yellow clothes, so I'm going to use my yellow clothes for the big stars. And then I'm going to use some white clothes for the smaller stars. Even though they're yellow, you can see Van Gogh still included a lot of white shading in those stars. So it's okay if they just come up as white in our laundry landscape. Okay, so I'm going to grab my big yellow t-shirt, and I'm going to pop that star up in the top right hand corner. Let's create the starry part of this starry night. Go. I might move it up a little bit. Okay, so that's one big yellow star. We can see that there's another yellow star that's going to sit around here near our black building. Okay, it's not as yellow as the one up here, so I'm going to use one of my smaller bits of yellow clothing. I use a yellow sock, and I'm going to add this in here like that. And going to decide where, let's try and make it a bit rounder, like that. You can roll your sock up in a ball if you like, if you're using socks to create those stars. And there's another one that looks quite yellow up the top part up here, so I'm going to put my other yellow sock right up the top here. Okay, I'm all out of yellow socks now. So if you ran out of things like this, you could also scrunch up some yellow paper if you like, or some white paper. I might add that to my artwork at the end, but I'm going to finish using up all the bits of laundry I pulled out first. Okay, let's add in some more white stars now. Okay, so I've added in my stars. You can go ahead and do the same. You can count the stars to make sure you have the same amount that is in the picture to try and recreate this picture the best way that you can. You can see I tried to screw up some of those paper balls a little bit smaller because we can see in Van Gogh's painting his stars are all different shapes and sizes, so you can try and do the same thing in your artwork. Now the last thing I want to show you to add in is the buildings that go along the bottom of our artwork down here. Okay, so you can see most of the shapes that we've used in this artwork today are long and curved and winding or small and round, but the buildings that go down the bottom are quite straight and square. So what you can do here is find some brown or light coloured clothing that you can fold into very square shapes down the bottom here. So I've got some placemats at home that I'm going to try and use, as well as some folded clothes. Okay, so the goal here isn't to try and recreate every single little building, but to just get the square, straight shapes of those buildings in our picture. Okay, so I've folded up my placemat here. You could use something like that. You could use a tea towel or just very neatly square folded clothing. Okay, you can see as well, there's a bit of a pointy building here. It might be a church. It might be a church steeple up there. So to do that, I'm just going to grab a jacket and I'm going to use the sleeve of my jacket to create that pointy building. And you can fold in corners at the top like that. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and add in some more buildings now. You can see in this painting that some of these buildings actually sit in front of each other and over the top of one another. So you might like to have a play around with your buildings as well. So you can put some of them on top of each other, behind, like that one. I might even add another little one in here. There we go. Okay, so let's have a look at our painting, our laundry painting. Okay, now you can see it's not an exact copy of Van Gogh's Starry Night, but I think we've done a pretty good job together of recreating some of the colours in the image. So the blues, the yellows, the whites, and then the browns of the buildings. You might even like to add in a little green tree down here at the end. And then the placement of the buildings, the mountains, the swirling star shape, and then the little stars themselves dotted through the sky. So you can have a go at this if you weren't pausing it and doing it along with me. You can add in even more if you like. So you can see that Van Gogh has some extra swirly shapes that he's added in. So if you have enough white fabric from either a sheet or some t-shirts, you can add in some more swirly shapes. And you can also add in, if you've got lots of little extra white bits, you could add in extra stars, extra detail to the stars. So my stars are just yellow and white. You could try and create yellow and white stars like Van Gogh has created. Okay, so I hope you have lots and lots of fun creating this artwork. I know I did. You can do this as big or as small as you like. This has taken up half of my kitchen floor, which was part of the fun. If you really enjoyed making this, I've got some more artworks after this part of the video to show you that you could recreate using your clean laundry as well. Or if you'd really like to rather than creating Starry Night, you could create one of those instead. Again, keeping in mind that the point of this isn't to recreate these artworks really realistically, like a picture perfect representation, but again, to just look at the color and the shapes and the positioning of each of these different art elements. Okay, so you can have a look through some of the next paintings and artworks if you would like to create a different type of landscape. Otherwise, you can finish making this one with me. You can take as long as you like to do this. So you can keep practicing squishing and twisting your fabric to create just the right shape for your artwork. Okay, let's have a look at some more that you could create. You might like to try this Monet painting if you have lots of green laundry, and you could use long white sheets to recreate that bridge over the top. If you like Australian landscapes, you could use lots of red clothes and laundry to create these mountains, and then some small green pieces to create your trees. You could even do a sea landscape like the Great Wave of Kanagawa. If you have lots of blue and white clothes, and you can twist them around each other to create these beautiful arching waves like you can see here. Or if you want to get really crazy and colourful, you could try doing an abstract landscape like this painting by David Hockney. If you have lots of colourful clothes that you can all squish together to create these beautiful colourful mountains. So you can recreate Starry Night with me, or you can try one of these paintings. You can just pause the video to see what they look like as you create your artwork, or you can look them up on Google with their name. Or if you're really interested in creating a completely different landscape, then you can look up landscape paintings in Google and see what comes up. Well done, boys and girls. I hope you had heaps of fun putting that laundry landscape together. I can't wait to see your finished pictures of what you created. So make sure you share those with the Art Club teachers if you're able to, and we'll see you soon. Bye.